Sometimes in life, being kind does not protect you, it slowly drains you. When kindness has no limits, it stops being a virtue and becomes a burden you carry alone. In a busy town lived a man named Daniel. Everyone knew him as the most dependable person around. If someone needed help, Daniel was there. If a problem needed fixing, Daniel handled it. If someone needed to talk, Daniel listened. He believed that being kind meant being available at all times. Saying no felt wrong to him, almost sinful. People often praised him, calling him generous and selfless, and those words gave Daniel a sense of worth. He believed his goodness made him important. But behind that reputation, Daniel's life was slowly falling apart. Every morning, Daniel woke up already tired. His body felt heavy, and his mind felt cluttered. He rarely had time to think about himself. His dreams, his health, and his happiness were always postponed. Later, he told himself, "Others need me right now." Yet later never came. At work, Daniel was known as the person who could always be relied on. When deadlines were missed, tasks somehow ended up on his desk. A coworker would smile and say, "You're better at this than me." Another would sigh dramatically and say, "I'm overwhelmed. Can you help just this once?" Daniel always agreed. He stayed late almost every night, eating cold food and walking home under dark skies. His own performance began to suffer, but no one noticed. They only noticed when he stopped helping. Outside of work, it was no different. Friends borrowed money with promises of repayment that never came. Neighbors knocked on his door without warning, expecting favors as if they were entitled to his time. Daniel smiled, even when he was exhausted. Inside, something felt wrong, but he pushed the feeling away. He believed being good meant enduring discomfort silently. Slowly, people stopped asking politely. They assumed. Requests turned into expectations. Gratitude disappeared. When Daniel once hesitated, someone laughed and said, "You'll do it anyway." That sentence echoed in his mind for days. He realized that people no longer saw him as kind, they saw him as useful. The breaking point came one evening when Daniel finally asked a close friend about money he had lent months ago. He asked gently, almost apologetically. The friend's face hardened. "Why are you making this awkward?" he said. "I thought you helped because you wanted to." Daniel felt a sharp pain in his chest. Somehow, he was made to feel guilty for asking back what was his. That night, Daniel lay awake staring at the ceiling, feeling empty and confused. For the first time, he wondered if his kindness was hurting him. A few days later, after another long and draining day, Daniel went to a small park near his home. He sat alone, watching the sky darken. His shoulders were heavy, his thoughts even heavier. An elderly man sat on a nearby bench and noticed Daniel's tired eyes and distant stare. After a moment, the man spoke gently, asking if Daniel was all right. Without planning to, Daniel told him everything. He spoke about the exhaustion, the guilt, the people who only came when they needed something. The man listened patiently and then said something Daniel would never forget. He said that kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. When people don't have to earn your help, they stop valuing it. When you never say no, you teach others that your time, energy, and feelings don't matter. Those words hit Daniel deeply. For the first time, someone put into words what he had been feeling for years. The man explained that real kindness includes self-respect. Saying no is not cruelty, it is clarity. Boundaries do not make you selfish, they protect your humanity. The next day, Daniel decided to try something new. When a coworker handed him extra work, Daniel paused. His heart raced, his hands felt cold, but he calmly said no. He didn't explain or apologize. The coworker looked shocked. Later, a friend called asking for money. Daniel refused politely. The reaction was immediate: anger, disappointment, accusations. "You've changed," they said. Daniel stayed silent. Deep inside, fear mixed with relief. The first few days were uncomfortable. Daniel felt guilty, even though he had done nothing wrong. Some people stopped calling. Others treated him coldly. But something else happened too. The constant pressure began to fade. The noise quieted. Daniel had time to breathe. Weeks passed. Daniel noticed that the people who remained treated him differently. They asked instead of demanded. They offered help in return. They respected his time. Helping them no longer felt like sacrifice. It felt mutual. Daniel realized that losing people who only valued his usefulness was not a loss. It was freedom. With fewer demands, Daniel began rebuilding himself. He focused on his health, his work, and his peace of mind. He slept better, He smiled more genuinely. His kindness returned, but this time it was intentional. He chose when to give and when to rest. Daniel learned a powerful truth. Being kind does not mean being available to everyone. True kindness has boundaries. It protects your energy and your self-worth. You are not selfish for saying no. You are not cruel for choosing peace. Being kind is beautiful, but being strategically kind is powerful.